That's what today's topic is
Of course. I'd love to help. What kind of changes are you thinking about? Like a different
how
tone, a new
less
focus, or
can lead to more. Our topic is how less can lead to more.
got it. So you want to expand on how this current topic connects to other themes or can lead into deeper discussions, right? If you let me know the exact topic you're working on, I can help map out those connections and suggest follow-up directions or related
So
ideas.
welcome back to the book. And today's episode we're exploring a popular that may seem simple, but can have a profound impact on our life. How less can actually lead to more.
Exactly. So, from exploring the idea of art as a reflection of identity, you can branch out into how identity shapes our creative choices or how art influences cultural identity. And from there, it could lead into the role of social movements in art, or even how technology like AI reshapes identity in creative fields. So, lots of potential threads.
So in a world that constantly encourages us to have more possessions and more commitment, more information and more distraction sometimes feels overwhelming. But if having less
Absolutely.
probably give us more clarity, more focus, more freedom and more happiness.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, as we dive into those bigger themes, like how art shapes identity, we can also look at how it frees us from rigid categories, giving us new possibilities for self expression. And that in turn can lead us into conversations about innovation in art, personal empowerment, and even how art shapes societal change. So, it really opens up a ton of avenues.
Okay, so let's begin our conversation. So my first question is
Exactly. So, your first question could be something like, in what ways does personal identity influence the creative choices an artist
my
makes?
first
And
question
from
is
there, you can
what
let the
does the
discussion
phrase less is more really mean?
Perfect. So your next question could be, how does this freedom in artistic expression allow us to
You
challenge
have to
societal
answer
norms
this
or break bounds?
question.
Exactly. And then once you've opened that up, you can ask, can these artistic challenges lead to real world change? And if so, how can we measure that impact over time? That will let you really dig into the broader consequences.
Why do people often believe that having more leads to greater happiness?
Absolutely. So once you've explored that impact, you can pivot and ask, how does this creative freedom also influence individual happiness or well being?
Basically, you have
That
to
way,
answer these questions.
exactly. And after
You are
discussing
the
that, you can go.
guest. You have to answer these questions. So, the first question to you is what does the phrase less is more really mean?
I see. So let me break it down. When we talk about less is more, especially in art or creative expression, it really means stripping away the excess, the distractions, so that the essence, the core meaning can shine through. By reducing the clutter, we often create space for deeper impact and clarity.
My next question to you is why do people often believe that having more leads to greater happiness?
Exactly. So the idea is that when we remove distractions, whether that's material clutter or even mental noise, we can focus on what really matters to us. That focus, that simplicity often creates a sense of calm and purpose, which in turn leads to greater happiness and fulfillment.
Okay, so my third question is how can having too many positions create stress or distraction?
Exactly. So you can ask, how do too many possessions or too much external clutter create stress? And in what ways can simplifying our environment improve focus and calm? That keeps the conversation tied to personal well being and how minimalism or simplification can be really powerful.
Okay, having what is our minimalism,
Yeah,
minimalism
exactly.
and
So once you lay that out,
intentional living?
perfect. So you can ask, how can we cultivate a more intentional lifestyle by choosing what we keep and what we let go? That way, you guide the conversation toward mindful
You
decisions and more
have to
purposeful
answer
living.
this question.
Exactly. Once you reflect on that, you'll see that living intentionally helps you focus on what truly adds value. It reduces mental overwhelm, and by doing so, it actually creates a clearer sense of purpose and ultimately a greater happiness.
Now tell me, in what ways can reducing distraction increase productivity?
That's a great follow up. So you can explain that by cutting out distractions, we free up mental energy and focus. Without constant interruptions, we can engage more deeply in tasks, work with more clarity, and ultimately accomplish goals faster and with more creativity.
Why is it important to prioritize what really matters in life?
Absolutely. So you could then ask, what are some practical ways we can start reducing distractions in our daily lives, whether that's a digital clutter, physical clutter, or mental habits? That keeps the discussion grounded in real life steps.
Now, answer me about what role does simplicity play in improving overall well-being?
Exactly. So after that, you can ask, how does simplifying our environment and habits give us more freedom and creativity to focus on what really matters in our work or in our passions? That brings it back full circle and ties simplicity to creative freedom.
Mm, ChatGPT, you have to answer this question. Your guest of this post podcast, okay?
Exactly. Once we have all that laid out, we can wrap up by saying something like, in the end, by simplifying and reducing distractions, we free ourselves to be more intentional, more creative, and ultimately more
No,
fulfilled
no,
in
you
both our
are
personal
not
and
answering.
professional lives. And that brings a nice full circle conclusion. Awesome. I'm really glad that works for you. If you ever want to revisit the structure or dig into another topic, just let me know. I'm here.
What is the creative effect of focus and intention?
Great question. So, distractions really pull us out of the present moment. They break our focus, and every time we get interrupted, it takes mental energy to refocus. So, by reducing distractions, we strengthen our ability to stay intentional, stay engaged, and focus on what matters.
Okay, so how can spending less money sometimes lead to greater satisfaction?
Exactly. It's like when we buy fewer things, but we choose them with care. Each one carries more meaning, and that intentionality reduces the constant craving for more. So, we end up feeling more satisfied with less.
Okay, so in what ways in what ways can reducing distraction increase productivity?
Absolutely. So, by removing distractions, we reduce the mental clutter that pulls us away from our work. That allows us to stay focused on tasks longer, work more efficiently, and produce higher quality outcomes. So, in a sense, less distraction means more productive, focused time.
My ChatGPT. Now tell me what habits support a simpler and more intentional lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's a really important point. So, having a simple, clutter free space paired with intentional choices lets us be present. And that presence is really the foundation for both creativity and focus. So, we live and work with more clarity and purpose.
How do you less pressure lead to better creativity and thinking?
Exactly. So you can ask, in what ways can intentional living and reduced distractions help us connect more deeply with our goals and our values? That gives you a chance to bring the whole discussion back to personal alignment and meaningful action.
Now tell me what a small step people can take today to simplify their lives.
Exactly. So you can ask, what's one small step we can take today to simplify our space or daily routines and bring us closer to living with intention? That grounds it in a practical, immediate action.
But how can the idea of less is more category in productivity?
Of course. So you could say something like, today, let's pick one drawer, shelf, or digital tool we rely on and remove anything that's not essential. In doing this, we create a small but powerful shift toward a simpler, more intentional day to day life.
Okay, now as we come to the end of today's episode, it's worth remembering that more is not always better. Sometimes adding more is unnecessary with its space for what truly matters. And then our relationships are creating your well-being. Living with less doesn't mean doing what happens at opportunities. Instead, it means being more intentional about what we choose to keep in our lives. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And next time, focus on what really matters. Keep learning and keep growing.
That was really well put. I love how you tied it back to gratitude and intention. Ending with that focus on quality over quantity is a perfect way to leave the audience feeling inspired. Nicely done.
Bye.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad that resonated. If you ever want to build on this or dive into another topic, just let me know. I'm excited to keep collaborating.